Welcome back, Internet, to another Reddit story. We're on to a new one. Tales from Fast Food. I worked fast food for 5 agonizing years, so I've got some stories. How lawyers act out of court. I was working to close this one night, and this sentence, I don't know what it's supposed to mean. Anyway, I was working to close this one night, and I saw this one customer just standing in front of the store looking very pissed. I go to motion to him that we are closed when he just gives me the finger twice and gets on the phone with someone. So I finish my work and get out. Though I know better, I was very intrigued and bored, so I went up to him politely and asked if everything was okay.
No, it's not. I come home on a train close to 10, and the website says that you guys are open till 11 or so. This is the 3rd time I've come to you guys and find out you're closed.
I'm sorry to hear about that. Our website states, however, that the dining room closes at 10. Drive-thru is open until 2 a.m. though.
Well, your website is outdated. I can't go through the drive-thru because I don't have a card now, you dumbass.
At this point, I stay silent, mostly astounded by his stubbornness, bad attitude, and the inability to believe an employee on the store hours. He eventually starts taking pictures of the store and calls a number.
I'm calling corporate. This is BS. You guys better start looking for another job. I'm a lawyer.
Okay, you have a nice night, sir. He most definitely wasn't a lawyer, and if he was, the system needs some stricter certification criterion. So I'll briefly talk about 3 different things about this topic. So the first one is, when I started working at a new pharmacy, the phone number that they gave us, that the phone company gave us, was a Salt Lake number, and I lived in Utah County, which is long distance. And we had a lot of elderly patients in our area that still used landlines and would get long distance charges, so we had to change our phone number. So for the longest time, Google said that our phone number was the old phone number, and we couldn't figure out how to change it. We couldn't change it at the store level, and we had to keep on trying to contact corporate to have them change it because people were complaining that our number wasn't working. So this guy's saying that our website, or
your website says you're at a wrong time.
Well, he probably looked at Google and saw that Google said that their time was one certain time, but Google isn't always accurate, and changing that, at least from my experience, is kind of a bitch. And second thing about this is, one time, another pharmacy thing, is that in one of the pharmacies I worked at, we closed from lunch every day at 1:30 to 2 o'clock we closed, which is a nightmare because working at it was a Walmart. Working at Walmart and closing, like, there's still people in the store, there's still people waiting around. So this one time, this one guy came up to the window, and it was like 1:25, and he hands me a prescription, and I just say, so yeah, we actually close for lunch. We can have this ready for you after we get back, probably around 2:15. And the guy looks at me, he's an older guy, he looks at me and winks, and he says, yeah, wouldn't want you guys to miss out on your lunch. And I just look at him and say, yeah, so if you're okay with 2:15, we can. And he didn't even let me finish my sentence. He snatched the prescription out of my hand, turned around, literally threw his hands up in the air towards the people at the registers, and yelled, "This is ridiculous!" as he walked off. And third story, I was working fast food. I was working at a McDonald's, and we were closed, like the dining room. I can't remember what time the dining room closed. They must have closed the dining room at 10. So it was like 9:55, 9:56, and we already had the dining room cleaned up. We're all getting ready to close it down, and the school bus pulls up. It's just like this high school baseball or football team just pulls up, and we were like, oh no. My manager just yells at me, "Chris, go lock the doors." And I managed to get from the back room up to the doors and locked it just like 10 feet away from when the next person was like, or the first person was going to open the doors. I locked it to even make eye contact, just got the hell out of there. Like, there's no way. Like, we just cleaned up the dining room, and we're going to have high schoolers come in and just mess it all up again? No. Not going to happen. Woman tries to get me fired for no reason. A few weeks ago, I was working the drive-thru, having an overall pretty good day. I take a lady's order, which is this. I would like a chicken finger plate with a lemonade and an extra piece of toast. She gets to the window, I take her money and get her the drink. About a minute later, I give her the food, close the window, but she keeps sitting there. Not trying to get my attention or anything, just sitting there. I open the window to see if anything is wrong. Me. Is there anything I can help you with? Her. Yeah, get me a refill on my drink. Sorry, I can't do that in the drive-thru. You can come in though. Ugh, well, I asked for my toast sliced and it's not cut. Gives her a confused / concerned face. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. What was with that face? It looked kind of judgmental. Sorry? I give her toast back sliced. Later on, she calls my manager and tells her that I was being extremely rude and that she would like to see me fired or she won't return. My manager had my back though, and when she heard my side of the story, she said I didn't do anything wrong. So the lady sits there and guzzles down her soft drink and wants a refill. So I can totally see people saying, well, why didn't she just give him, or he or she just give the customer a refill? Well, it goes back to a topic or a philosophy I've always had when dealing with customers, is if you do something once for someone, they'll expect it the next time. And her just sitting in the drive-thru holding up a line, guzzling down her drink and wanting a refill, she'll do that the next time that she comes in if you do it once for her. So that's, yeah, I would have personally made them come in too. As far as, having to explain to the manager, I hate these kind of phone calls that happen with managers and customers or any of these conversations, because the manager just gets a blind phone call out of nowhere with the customer complaining about something, and then the manager has to apologize and make the customer feel like that they're right. When if I was a manager, I would listen to the customer's point of view, put them on hold, talk to the employee, get their side, and then resolve it. But managers won't do that. All they want to do is just get the customer happy, get them what they want, and then just get them off the phone call. When did we turn into a society of babies where if you didn't slice my toast, I'm going to call and complain to your manager just because of a face you make? Was that a look you just gave me? What was that look about? Well, it's because you're being a child about your toast not being sliced. Now, come on inside, get your refill, and get out of my line. Man calls the store after talking to my manager in person about how rude I was, asking him to give me the correct amount for his meal. I work at this fast food restaurant. You might have heard about it. They sell mostly roast beef. My job consists of many positions, but the drive-thru is by far the worst of them. I love it for that reason. So, I have my fair share of jerky customers. This happened yesterday as of writing this. So, I was working the lunch shift, and the summer season is our slow season because of snowbirds. The reason why they call them snowbirds is because they either come for the snow or they leave because there's no snow, like touristy areas like ski resorts and stuff like that. But this day was crazy busy. I haven't seen a day like this in a long time, so I was pumped and in a great mood. Eventually, I get to the customer who orders like $8 worth of food. They get to the window and hand me 2 big handfuls of change. I asked him if he knew how much it was, and he said he didn't, so I started counting. When I was done counting, the total was like 6 something, so I told him he owed me some more money. He scoffed at me and rudely handed me a 5, so I cashed him out and tell him to pull forward, as his mozzarella sticks were still frying. Eventually, my manager goes out there to hand him his food, and she doesn't come back for like 2 minutes, which is a really long time. Usually you hand them their food and you're back inside before 1 minute has passed. When she came back inside, she looked annoyed and sweaty. 92 degrees most days here. She began to tell me about her little conversation with him, and it went a little like this. M is for manager, and A is amazing customer. Manager: here's everything, sauce is in the bag. Amazing customer: hey, what's that kid's working in the window's name? Oh, that's this person. Why did you need to know? Well, he was acting very rude and disrespectful about having to count back my change. Like, I understand how it is to work in fast food, and I know it isn't that hard. Maybe he needs to step back and take a breath. We're very busy right now, and I watched his whole interaction with you, and he did nothing wrong. Care to explain how he was rude? Yeah, like he was just being very rude and acting like he was annoyed with me. I was just gonna call and tell your general manager later anyway, because he shouldn't act like that to customers. We're very, very busy, and he didn't act rude, but have a nice day. Literally, not 5 minutes passed, and the phone rings. The same manager picked up the phone, and he told her the exact same stuff he told her before. And she explained that we were busy and how I didn't do anything wrong. That's the end of it. Nothing crazy exciting, but still funny. I usually get very annoyed with rude customers, but because we were crazy busy, it actually didn't bother me much. Nice to see a manager just totally confront a customer and just say, why? Why is this person rude? Or how is this person being rude with you? That's really awesome. In retail, whenever I've had a customer give me a handful of change and just dump it on me, I always count it. I don't care how long of a line I have, because 100% of the time, they're off by like 75 cents or a dollar or something like that. They just hope that you're going to just take that pile of change and be like, all right, close enough, because you don't care. But because a lot of fast food and retail workers actually have standards and actually care about their jobs, they do count them. And whenever you count it, you're like, yeah, you're like $1 off. They're always like, what? I'm bewildered. How did this happen? Plus, the guy had a $5 bill. Give the kid the $5 bill and then the rest in change. We're not a bank. Don't give us all your change and expect us to like count it in a jiffy because you're annoyed that it's taken too long. Like, don't be rude. Thank you all for joining me on this new Reddit story thing. Tales from Fast Food. Let me know what you guys think. If you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Share it with a friend. And I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, later, kids.